Hi everybody, I'm Mrs. World of Wayne and this is my crafting world. So this week we're going to continue with the upper floor, and we've moved on from the study and now we're going to move on into the bathroom and the bedroom area. So first of all what we need to do is to attach some lights. We need a kitchen light, so we're actually lighting downstairs as well, this one, and we've also got a bedside lamp. So they need to be, the bulbs for those need to be attached. And then what we can do is we can attach the upper floor. So let's get crafting. Okay, so here we are. What we've got is, this is the upper floor. Now I've already pasted the covering onto this, as you can see. How this will sit, this will be the bathroom area towards the back. This is the bedroom area here. And this area here has like a wardrobe, a closet on it. So what we need to do is, first of all, we need to work out where the wire is going to go for the kitchen light. Now, I've already done this, and what I did was, if I bring the house over as it stands, because there's not any actual markings on the pieces for this. So what I did was I just laid the top piece in where it's supposed to go, and then looking from underneath, I looked for, you know, roughly where I wanted the light to go, put my finger there and then drew a dot. So that's where the ceiling light for the kitchen is going to be attached. So let me move this out of the way and I'll show you what we have got. So first of all, what we need to do is we need to make this light here, because this is the light that actually goes for the kitchen. All right, now for that, we needed parts E12, which is this top part, and E11, which is the bottom wooden. And these are wooden discs. So I've already glued these together because I knew these would take a time, especially with the paper shade. So they also wanted us to use 3/7, which was one of the paper elements. So after I pasted these together so that they would dry, I then pasted this on. Now this section here, okay, this E12, that has to be on the outside, because what happens is this will stick to the ceiling and then the lead for the light will come along this gully here. All right, so on the inside, that's what you've got. All right, so now what I can do is I can now take one of our LED lights, thread, oops, no, it needs to be threaded the other way. Thread this through like so, and pull that until the light is in. So that's going to just sit like that. Then what we need to do is just lay this down so that this sits in the gully even, get that right. And now what we're going to do is we're going to glue this top section here. So we want a reasonable amount of glue. Ensure that's going to stick neatly to the ceiling. And then what we're going to do is I'm just going to check the area, because what I need is I need for the lead to come this way. All right, so if this is the bathroom, if you imagine under here, we've got that blue divider for the kitchen and the lounge. So that's where I need it to go. All right, so when I'm going to be placing it, yep, it needs to go diagonally to here. So I'm going to place that over my dot. Check that those wires, and yep, are in the gully like that. And I'm just going to pop a little bit of masking tape onto this wire like so. So while that's gluing there, then what we need to do, oops, I'm just going to stand that bulb up a bit, perfect. So now let me turn back over and show you. As you can see here, we've got just a slight indentation, and what we need is we need for another light to come up here. All right, and this is going to form the light for the table lamp next to the bed. So I'm going to turn this over again. Now, it says, because I have to say, it did take me a while to sort of work out what all these instructions for all these lights were. Right, we need about 4.5 centimetres of wire going above there. So that's probably okay. And then this is going to be run along the ceiling as well. Now remember, you're not going to see this underneath. So I'm just going to get a little bit more masking tape. Oh, sticky stuff. Let's get rid of that bit. And I'm just going to pop just a couple of bits of masking tape just to hold this in place. Now you might want to use normal tape because it's transparent. You might want to glue, completely up to you. As I said though in I think one of the first videos I did, at the moment I don't want to glue anything, any of the lights in, just in case one of them doesn't work. Now by taping as well, if I have put them in the wrong place, then obviously I can easily change this. Okay, and when that's secured onto the wall, that will, if I put it there, this one will stand up perfectly fine. Now we need another light, okay, and this one is going to thread through this wall here. Now this section here is the side wall for the bathroom. Now this one does, again, this does have a light fitting attached to it, all right, which we will make up afterwards. But I just want to get these in first of all. And this just runs down the back of this wall here. So again, just going to place just a little bit of tape to keep that in place. Now we do have wires running outside. It's not a build that is like a 360 build. All right, so again, just to sort of make you aware of that. Now, I'm just going to turn this round. As you can see, I've got wires here. I want to show you, there's a little hole here. Let me see if I can. Okay, now that is above the fridge freezer in the kitchen. And on the paper side, you can't see a hole, so you do need to remember just to poke that out. Okay, I just used a Stanley knife, slotted it through, and did it that way. Or a bradawl will be fine as well. And the reason for this is because those leads for the lights, they are going to thread down here and then out through that hole. All right, so that's what we need to do next. But while we do that, we're going to be gluing down the floor. So I've glued one wall, as you can see. So this is going to be the section that's going along here. But I'm also putting some glue on here because this is where it is going to sit. Okay, and I'm also, now what you can do is pop a little bit of glue on there as well, because it should touch the top of that dividing screen. Just want to make sure that it's not going to come toppling down. So let me try and angle this so that you can see what I'm doing. So what I want with these is to thread them through that hole there. Now I want to try and get the other two through as well. Okay, so I'm being very careful here because all 4 leads have now come through. So as I put this into place, brilliant. And there you have it. So we've now got this upper floor on. We've got a kitchen light in place, and we've got our light ready here for the bedside lamp. So now what we're going to do is move this to one side, and we're going to move on to making the lamp for the bathroom that goes here. So we need another paper element, and again I've already cut this out and I've already glued it. Now this was 3/9. All right, so we needed 3/9 and I've glued that together like so. So that makes a nice little lampshade. We also need a section of G30. Now G30 is this piece of wire here, and what they want us to do, so they're saying that in total, just trying to work this out, we need a 5.8 centimetre long length, 58 millimetres, and from that we're going to sort of manipulate it to make it look like a the holder for the lampshade that we've just made. Okay, so there we have it. Okay, 5.8 centimetres, and what they want us to do is they want us to bend it around and up. You don't actually need, this is really pliable, so for that part that's all good. And then they want this section twisted round. Now I am going to use some round nosed pliers. I do like round nosed pliers. So we've ended up with something that looks like this. Now we're going to bend that top section. So we've gone from something that's flat to something that isn't. We're going to put some glue at the top here, and we're going to attach that to our lampshade. I'm just going to lay that to one side, because now what we need to do is we need to create the fixing for the lamp to attach to the wall. So we're going to have a look in our little bag of goodies, and we're going to find two parts that look like this. So I need the H bag. I'm just hoping they're in here because I had a bit of a mishap with this bag. Now what I'm actually going to do is I am going to glue this onto here first. Now it doesn't cover this bulb. What actually happens is this bulb just sits above the lamp. Because this board is white, it's a bit difficult to see, but it looked like that. This tiny little bead inside it, which isn't going to happen. Let's have another go. Now with the bead, we need to remember that the hole to the bead needs to be up. Now I think I'm going to have to go back and put some more glue on those, because those aren't stuck at all. I feel like I'm holding my breath. Right, let's try again. There's a reasonable amount of glue on there. We will pop it to one side in a sec. Is that this end here is going to sit inside the bead. Now I might need to chop some end off. I might have put a bit too much on this end, but let's see if we can get it in there. I might need to wait for the bead to glue a bit. No, that's got in first time. Now I don't want to stand this up yet, so I'm going to keep it flat. Take it over to this. Again, apologise for any white balance. But that's basically what we've got. Now once that's all dry, what we'll do is manipulate this bulb so that it just sits under the shade. But at the moment I am going to leave that to dry. That section that we've just made with the light is going to go here. Alright, that's the external wall there. We've got another external wall that we're about to put in just there. So that back external wall is B23. And onto B23 we've got another paper element, okay, which is 2/4. which looks like that. So it looks like it's got tiles on the wall. And we also, once again, we had a window, all right, which was E20, and we pasted G17 on the back of it. So what I can do is I can get that glued to the back. I'm going to pop that to one side, but that's what that looks like there. So we've got that back wall in. So now what we can do is we can get on with the bath. So this was made out of sections E22 and E23. And again, I have already glued this together because this has another paper wraparound put on it. Okay, and the paper wraparound is 218. Again, sorry that it's so... It has got a bit like a diamond harlequin type pattern on it. I'm not quite sure you're going to see that. Now, what I've already done is, I know I've mentioned this before, when you're wrapping something around, go round first of all and give it some really good creasing. All right, it'll make it a lot easier. So I'm going to get on and paste this. When you're happy that they're not going to start pulling away from the wood, then you can glue the rest of it. There is some overlap with the paper, so do make sure that you do overlap it and that you're not taking it to an edge, because it's more likely to come undone if you do. So that looks just like that. Now onto that, we already have a section which is E21, which is already cut out and looks like that for you. And what happens is that sits on the top like so. So we'll paste that on together. That will look just like that. Okay. And that's your actual bath complete. I'm going to pop that to one side and let that dry. The next thing that we've got to make is the sink. And again, I've already put this together. This is made up of E24 and E26 with E25 at the top. And then you've got this section here, which is B5, which is already pre-cut for you. I'm just going to glue around the edge of this. And then this needs to sit in the middle. Okay, so we're leaving a bit of a gap at the front, a bit of a gap at the back, and a gap either side. We need to glue down two sections of G29. Now G29, if you remember, is the black plastic that we've used before to make door handles. There's a tiny little section here, and we just need to cut this, and that's going to make our two handles. So I'm just going to use these. This has got a little bit bent. Glue on these handles. Now I do often find that with small parts like this, it's easier just to dab them into the glue. I know that means you get some residue, but again, you can either wipe that off with a cotton bud. That would get that off. But as I say, this particular tacky glue will dry clear. So now what we've got is, in the bathroom, there is a shower. These look to me as though they're from Press Studs. When you buy, sorry, not Press Studs. Oh, you know, I can't think what they're called. But you can get a little gadget that sort of, for like rivets and things to put in clothes. That's what that looks like. So I'm going to use my tweezers for this. And again, I am going to place that into the glue and then stick that on like so. Now what we need is we need G33, and G33 is some wire. We've used it before. We used it in the kitchen when we made the taps. Okay, so it looks just like this. It is a bit bumpy, so again, I'm going to get the flat nose pliers that really remind me of a duck-billed platypus and just flatten it out a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a little bend like so at the top. Paste that into this section here, which if I show you on this camera here, becomes your shower head. Now that's clever. I really like that. I'm going to paste that to one side because that really does need to securely glue. Now for the mirror, we're going back to using the shiny paper, which is G16. And what we've also got is 2.9, which we need here. Now the black part of this does form the frame of the mirror. So try and be as accurate as you can. These great little snippers have actually got a curved blade to them. So they are perfect for cutting out anything that's round. Cut that out like that. And what we also need is 210. Now 210 is literally going to be pasted onto the back of our silver paper so that we know what size to cut out the silver paper. This silver paper is silver both sides, so in case you're sitting there, again I'm going to glue it to the wrong side, but it might be easier to glue the back of the mirror and paste that on. Now if like me your cutting hasn't been too accurate, not an issue, just get a black marker and just fill in the bits where there's a gap. It's going to go, oh, no it's not, it's going to fall off. It goes there next to the window. And that glues on just like so. Now I'm hoping, so I've gone back to this light that we made earlier. I am really happy with that, how that turned out. And then I'm going to get this wall attached in situ. So that wall is now in situ. This light does still need to dry a little bit, so I am going to lay it back on its side and then we'll be able to manipulate it so that it looks more like a wall light. So we're almost complete in the bathroom now. We've got our bath, we've got our sink unit. We do need to make, oh, and we've got our shower, forgot about the shower. And what they're saying to us now is the nice part where you can make some little bits and pieces. So I'm going to tip out everything from here. We're going to place a double of glue at the top. Pick up our little silver bead into our vase. We're just going to pop some flowers. They're saying pink flowers. I am going to use pink, but it doesn't matter what colour. Really, you may have used up all the pink somewhere else. It is just for guidance. Just going to test to see how long that is. So I'm just going to trim off the bottom bit. And I'm also just going to put a dab of glue on there. Lay that to one side. This bead here, it's in the shape of a cuboid. And this is where the pearl bead is going to go. So again, pick that with my tweezers. And pop that on top. And we have got a small blue shelf, which is E27. Now it should be the only blue thing now in that pack, so it should be nice and easy to find. So E27 is a shelf that's going to be stuck onto the wall, and onto that we're putting two other things. So we need the larger pearl and another silver bead. We're going to use the two metal beads that we've got as the lids. So oh, it's alive, it's alive. So we're going to leave these to dry, and now we should be able to start dressing the bathroom. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is to stick the sink in. Now I am going to use my tweezers for this, because this needs to be stuck just underneath the mirror, and it doesn't actually sit on the floor, so it just needs to be, I will turn this round in a second, but I'm going to try and get everything glued in. There you go. So as you can see, I don't want to stand it upright because this is still very, very wet. But here we've got our sink unit, and as you can see, it doesn't touch the ground. That's how it's supposed to go. We've got our bath in situ as well. Now I'm also going to place the shelf. So I'm putting the shelf into my glue, and then I'm going to place this inside. So that looks, you can just about see it here, that looks like that. The final thing we've got to go in is the all essential toilet, okay, because a bathroom's not a bathroom without a toilet, and that does come as one whole piece. So then we've got a really cute toilet, nothing to do to this except to put some glue on the bottom of it. I'm going to now leave that to glue, to set, and then what I'll be able to do is to come back and you'll be able to see the completed room. So now that I've put everything together, I'll be able to show you some finishing pictures. Take care everyone, bye!